Hello everyone. Today's story is The Polite Puppy. Once upon a time there was a little puppy named Pogo. He lived with his mother and his two sisters, Poppy and Pippa, in a cozy house in the countryside. Pogo loved to play and explore, but he had one problem: he was very rude. He never said please or thank you, he never shared his toys, he never listened to his mother, and he always interrupted others when they were talking. One day, Pogo decided to go for a walk in the forest. He wanted to see what kind of animals lived there. He said goodbye to his mother and sisters, but he did not say it politely. He just barked, "I'm going out! Don't bother me!" He ran into the forest, sniffing and chasing everything that moved. He saw a squirrel, a rabbit, a bird, and a frog, but he did not make any friends with them. He just scared them away with his loud and rude voice. He said things like, "Hey you, give me that nut," or "Move over, this is my spot," or "Stop singing, you sound awful," or "What are you looking at, you're ugly." The animals in the forest did not like Pogo at all. They thought he was very mean and disrespectful. They wished he would go away and leave them alone. Pogo did not care what the animals thought of him. He thought he was having fun. He did not realize that he was hurting their feelings and making them angry. Soon, he came across a big pond. He saw a swan swimming gracefully on the water. He thought she looked very beautiful and elegant. He wanted to talk to her and maybe play with her. He ran towards the pond and jumped into the water. He splashed and made a lot of noise. He swam up to the swan and said, "Hi there, I'm Pogo, you're pretty, want to be my friend?" The swan was startled by Pogo's sudden appearance and loud voice. She did not like being disturbed by this rude puppy. She said, "Excuse me, who are you and what are you doing here?" Pogo did not answer her questions. He just said, "Come on, let's play. I'll show you how fast I can swim." He started to swim around the pond, making big waves and splashing water everywhere. He did not care that he was ruining the swan's peaceful day. The swan was very annoyed by Pogo's behavior. She said, "Stop it. Stop it right now. You're being very rude and impolite. You're making a mess of my pond." Pogo did not listen to her. He just laughed and said, "What's wrong with you? Don't you know how to have fun? You're boring." He continued to swim around the pond, ignoring the swan's protests. The swan had enough of Pogo's rudeness. She decided to teach him a lesson. She waited for him to come close to her. Then she stretched out her long neck and bit him hard on his tail. Pogo yelped in pain and surprise. He stopped swimming and looked at the swan with fear in his eyes. The swan said, "That's what you get for being rude and impolite. You need to learn some manners." She then swam away from him, leaving him alone in the pond. Pogo felt ashamed and sorry for what he had done. He realized that he had been very rude and impolite to all the animals in the forest. He understood that he had hurt their feelings and made them angry. He decided to change his ways and become a polite puppy. He got out of the pond and ran back to his home. He apologized to his mother and sisters for being rude to them before he left. He said it politely this time. He also went back to the forest and apologized to all the animals that he had scared away or offended with his loud and rude voice. He said things like, "I'm sorry for taking your nut," or "I'm sorry for taking your spot," or "I'm sorry for insulting your singing," or "I'm sorry for calling you ugly." He also said please and thank you, shared his toys, listened to others, and did not interrupt them when they were talking. The animals in the forest were surprised by Pogo's change of attitude. They accepted his apologies and forgave him for his mistakes. They became friends with him and invited him to play with them. Pogo was very happy that he had made new friends in the forest. He learned that being polite and respectful to others was the best way to make friends and have fun. He never forgot the lesson that the swan had taught him. He became known as the polite puppy. The message of this story is that manners are very important. They ensure we show respect and kindness to others. They help us make friends and have fun. We should always be polite and respectful to everyone we meet. Thank you.